This training is about collapsing energy of resistance, judgment, projection, complaint around any situation, person, internal experience, including our internal dialogue or internal emotional, mental, energetic, physical sensation state. It can collapse judgment, resistance, blame, shame, guilt towards a situation from our past, a current situation in regards to a whole body, say a business or a religion or a government body or a state. It could be one of your best friends who you are feeling perhaps particularly triggered by. It could be your partner. It could be someone that you work with. It could be a client or a customer. It could be absolutely anyone or anything. The whole working of this process and this practice is around the collapsing of resistance. Let me break down resistance for a moment. When I say the word resistance, what I'm really meaning is that whatever situation we are facing, and taking into account all of those examples about internal, external, people, bodies, circumstances that I just explained. So we are being with a situation and we don't want it to be that way. And what happens is in our body, we close down. This can be experienced as a sense of contraction in our body, but most of all, the most common symptom of resisting or judgment. And by the way, human beings are judging beings, so don't beat yourself up about this. This isn't about, beating yourself up anyway. This is actually about liberation. So it's a really normal experience to judge as a human being. It's whether or not you are willing to take radical responsibility in order to liberate yourself from that energy or that vibration, so to speak, that practice or habit, even the reflex, in order to create a different experience about what's in front of you. Because we cannot change a situation that either doesn't align with us, we wish wasn't there, or we, want to change or create differently. We cannot change it until we have fully resolved our resistance around it. And it is as simple as that. So Ho'oponopono is a practice that I want to introduce to you, and I'm going to talk you through it. And I do suggest that you do this practice. If you are doing something right now, feel free to listen, but please do this practice laying down and really taking the time to experience the healing power of this. Ho'oponopono is a very ancient traditional Hawaiian prayer, and it has multiple meanings. Essentially, the beauty of this practice is about taking full responsibility of how you have created a situation in your life, co-created a situation and a circumstance, especially ones that you feel are another person's fault. So situations where you have complaint or blame or judgment in. Sometimes this could be around money, or perhaps a change in circumstance in work, or a new position that we create, or increasing our clientele coming in our businesses, or increasing the depth of beautiful, intimate connection in our relationships. Like, this doesn't have to be about other people. It can be what we're creating. So this can be used in any situation. This is about collapsing the charge and taking responsibility, consciously or unconsciously, for any situation. This is a deeply healing practice, and it is the way of the heart. So I want you to remember that the universe is never trying to withhold good things from us, and people are not purposely trying to fuck us over. I want to put an asterisk next to that, because if someone is so in their own hell in their life, they are not aware of what they're doing. They're so trapped in their pain, they can do things that can be deeply horrible. So I do want to honor that while I'm saying this, and be practical about saying that innately, I truly believe innately, when we get down to the essence of every human being, we all truly want the same thing, which is to self-realize, to be, as a human, be seen, loved, heard, validated, accepted, and most of all, to be a fully expressed being and aligned with our purpose and our soul wishes is here to evolve. So, I'm going to do some reading here and then take you through the practice. Please relax. Really expand your faith in the invisible forces and allow for the greater workings of life to unfold for you. I want you to remember that because you're listening to this, that resources for your deepest desires are coming to you right now. And if you've been in lack, limitation, or anxiety about things happening or situations occurring, relax and substitute your stress for trust in life, that it will provide the good things with generosity and grace. If you're finding this challenging, just take it one step at a time, reprogramming your heart and mind into new habits of peaceful trust, compassion, understanding, appreciation, gratitude, and radical responsibility that liberates you. It will feel much easier and aligned to live like this. It's not foolishness, but wisdom that embraces such unconditional faith. Know that the provision of all resources required is a certainty. So this requires your certainty. The only variables that derail us that can get in the road is getting stuck in the detail of how. So this is where trust comes in. When you tune into your heart, you really remember that you're loved, protected, and guided in every moment. Please trust that. This practice of Ho'oponopono, it's a way to adjust your belief systems to encompass yourself as a co-creator with life, so that when you meet a situation, a person, a circumstance, a reality that you either are afraid that you cannot create or one in which you do not want to exist, you can take responsibility for your role in that. Come back to a place of deep compassion, deep heartfelt acceptance of this circumstance, and from that place, transformation will unfold. I want you to focus on the sweet generosity of life and the love that it provides when you're simply in coherence with your breath and your being, that you ask of nothing, that you expect nothing, and at the same time give yourself permission to have it all while being in a state of receptivity and openness. This healing process is about remembering that the heart has the power to transform a situation that troubles you. You don't need to be intimidated or think it's too much to handle. You're never asking too much when you're acknowledging what it is that you desire. If you desire it, then it's meant for you. Don't allow yourself to intellectualize the following practice or analyze a situation. Don't allow yourself to get critical or judgmental or try and pull it apart and get into confusion and paralysis. Healing through the heart on any and all issues that have plagued you, or a loved one even, can and will happen this way. Let your heart really feel the faith it needs to feel so that it can rest. Healing wants to flow abundantly for you. Open to receive it without hesitation or condition. Pono in the Hawaiian tradition has deep and multiple meanings. One expression which is return to order. Return to order. And if you remember what I'm saying, collapsing charge around situations or charge around things being a big deal or too hard or a projection of blame, shame, judgment, criticism, that's a charge. So we want to bring them back into order, back into neutrality. There is a perfection of peace, beauty, and fulfillment that the divine has planned for all the lives of all beings. Through the use of human free will, we have at times moved away from what is in the divine plan, stumbled on the path and become ensnared in suffering and frightening delusions. We get stuck in the mind, stuck in judgment. We get stuck in limitation and stuck in old beliefs and patterns that simply perpetuate the scarcity of the very things that we wish to be free of. It can be then difficult to use our free will and remember that we are the creatrix of our life. It can even be painful to think that we have co-created a situation. Our ego does not like to take responsibility. It needs pain, it needs blame, it needs judgment in order to exist, so it must find its opponent, sometimes even when that finger is pointed at the self. This is not the way of the heart, this is the way of fear. Divine dwells in your heart. This is not a practice to be done in your head. In the tradition from which it emerges, Ho'oponopono, or to set things right, is here in order to restore balance. The heart really thrives through this simple 4-step practice that can be done by anyone, anywhere, for any person or situation that you wish to transform. It may seem unexpectedly easy, and it is. The mind wants to make things hard. And you might ask, well, why isn't everyone doing it if it's so easy? Why isn't the world healing right now? And truly, this is because only those who have come far enough on their growth and their path have placed heart wisdom above the dictates of the mind will be able to accept and receive this practice and healing. The practice itself is not something that you can approach through your head. The mind will resist because it asks for us to take unconditional responsibility for everything that we encounter, whether it be in our own lives or out in the world, even if those situations seem to have nothing whatsoever to do with us. The moment something comes into our awareness, we are responsible for it. Responsibility isn't to self-punish, it is to liberate. The mind can rebel at this and say that's unfair and unduly burdensome or shaming to think in that way. And that's because the mind confuses responsibility with guilt and giving with deficit. I'll say that again. The mind confuses responsibility with guilt and giving or generosity with deficit. So it thinks if I'm giving, then I am in deficit. If I'm taking responsibility, then I need to be guilty. This is not that. The heart is joyful at the prospect of spiritual responsibility because it understands that it offers the empowerment to make a difference and that healing one helps heal all. Again, as I say always, your abundance is my abundance. Their abundance is my abundance. My abundance is your abundance. So the creation of our desires spreads abundance, and the healing of our own resistance or our own judgments or our own projections heals others as well. So right now, this is the practice. Choose a person or a situation to which you can offer healing. And this may even mean big, hairy, audacious goals that you are not letting yourself relax into. Recognize the power of your heart. Place your hand on it. Tap into the beauty of it. Stay there until feelings of compassion, goodwill, and wanting all beings to know that they are loved and don't deserve suffering arise in you. When you feel even the subtlest connection, you're already ready. Now, remember that these steps do not need to make sense to your mind. Feel the truth of what's happening in your heart. As soon as you have practiced this and completed this, the healing has already begun. And if you like to take it a step further afterwards, dream up the desire of which it is that you want to create in this situation, this circumstance, this relationship, this moment, this opportunity, and affirm its possibility. See it, feel it, and allow yourself to vibrate at it. Step 1. I'm sorry. Say aloud, I am responsible for this situation. I feel so sorry for this. Let your heart be in compassion as you might feel the emotion that is evoked by what you are saying. I'm sorry. With this situation in mind, I'm sorry. Step 2. Please forgive me. Ask for forgiveness. You don't need to think whom you are asking it of. Just say, please forgive me. As you speak these words, feel the remorse you connected with in step 1. So when you said, I'm sorry, when you say, please forgive me, connect to that remorse. As you ask to be forgiven, those of you sensitive to energy may feel or sense a release taking place. Step 3, thank you. Say thank you. Again, it doesn't matter if you have a sense of whom or what you are thanking. Before you even say the words, you may already feel the gratitude that begins to pour through you, and this will increase as you say the words. Step 4, I love you. Again, this will evoke a response in the soul, this time an outpouring of love. You may feel this consciously, but even if you don't trust that it's happening, just go with the process and say, I love you. Let yourself feel love as you say the words. Now, you can repeat this process, those 4 sentences, as many times as required until you feel a collapsing of judgment, of blame, shame, resistance, or fear around any situation or circumstance, including the dreams and desires that you are wanting to manifest, own, and give yourself permission to have. You can simply repeat, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Returning to a state of full responsibility spiritually and energetically, compassion, appreciation, gratitude, and loving kindness. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You can do this for even 30 minutes longer, as long as you need. You can repeat this daily. You can do this as often as you feel resistance. The moment you go to express blame, and remember that because you co-created, you are also co-healing. And that through this practice, your energy is free and available for you to create whatever circumstance, whatever you desire, and whatever you dream. Your desires and dreams are meant for you. They're available to you right now.